Welcome to a brand new episode of the Car and Bike Show. I am Siddharth Vinayak Patankar, and as you can see, perched atop the very latest from Mahindra, a car that everybody has talked about for months and one that we have seen so much anticipation for. Yes, the new generation of its Thar is finally here. They took the wraps off of this on the 15th of August, very auspicious. The market launch will happen on the 2nd of October, but that's too far away for us to actually not be able to drive it, test it, figure out what it's all about. So I did get a chance to get a first feel of this car. As you can see, I'm getting my second feel right now, but at least take a look at this so you get to know what this new generation is all about. New second generation Mahindra Thar. So much anticipation around this car, and it's finally with us. Though I have to say, just for a few minutes. I've got very limited time with this car today, and I'm going to try and make the most of it and give you somewhat of a first impression on this new generation. Now, in terms of looks, you straight away know it's a Thar, and then you instantly pick up some nice new elements in terms of just the way the finish, the styling, and even the safety features like the raised hood for pedestrian safety have been incorporated. So all that is really nice because it's very obvious. And yet, while there was a huge debate internally, should we go in a new direction or stay quintessentially Thar, I think people will be happy that Mahindra chose to stay Thar. And so you see the car and you straight away pick that up. This one is the diesel. It's got the M-Hawk badge over here. So that's the 2.2, which you know from before, but it's been completely overhauled and updated. And yes, is now BS6. You also get a new set of gearboxes, 6-speed manual, all new. Also a 6-speed torque converter automatic from Aisin, also new. So the Thar finally gets a little bit more lifestyle oriented and refined now. Before I expand on that part, the petrol also all new. It's a 2-liter GDI turbo petrol unit that is developed by Mahindra. And of course, while I don't get a chance to drive it today, I am extremely curious about it. Now, the lifestyle part of the whole thing. There are two variants that you'll get on this in terms of trims. There's the AX and the LX. AX is for adventure. Car with me is the LX, L for lifestyle. So, first time ever, you get a factory-fitted hard-top roof. And so, that's got to be something that gets a lot of attention from urban buyers because the whole focus is on refinement. The idea is to say that, look, we always knew that the Thar can go off-road and do it well. This one promises to do the same. It's got 226 millimeters of ground clearance. It's got your approach and departure angles like you need them. Over 600 mm of wading depth capability. But it's the urban side of it. The fact that it can be your daily driver, more refined, more plush, 7-inch touchscreen on the inside, better finished cabin and ergonomics, and also pretty good on safety. Those are the things that are going to become the defining characteristic of this new generation. So 15th August, a very auspicious date to be driving the car for the first time and giving you this first impression. Well, guess what? Even the launch will happen on a date that's very special to India, Gandhi Jayanti. 2nd October is when Mahindra opens bookings, announces prices with the launch of the new Thar. So you now get front-facing seats in the second row, which is great. They're also fairly comfortable. There are only 2 seats back here officially as well, so it's a 4-seater vehicle. But it's a 3-door, and so yes, you've got to push this front seat forward to be able to make your way back here. But it's not difficult to climb in, and yeah, it seems like a fairly comfortable seat. Under-thigh support could have been a little bit better, but this is just a first impression, so I'm just telling you what I'm thinking as I'm thinking it. 3-point seat belts, standard on both these seats. That's great. Isofix child seat mounts, also standard, also great. Staying with the rugged theme, you got roof-mounted speakers. That's a nice little touch. So the 2.2 diesel is the M Hawk, and that branding you know from before, and it gives you 130 bhp, 300 Nm of torque. The petrol side of things is the new M Stallion range, 2-liter GDI that I was talking about earlier. That gives you a little bit more power. It actually has 150 bhp and 320 Nm of torque. Both have the option of that 6-speed manual or automatic, though of course the variants differ as you now know. The refinement is what I think is going to be my big takeaway that comes across in terms of ride quality, in terms of steering. The steering itself is, by the way, height adjustable, but it's not telescopic. A little bit of a browse there, but new touchscreen infotainment, 7-inch, very similar to the XUV 300. And washable cabin. The interiors are completely washable, so whether it's mud or sand, no matter where you go, the idea is you're office ready after that wild weekend. And when you pitch a car to be off-road ready, well, of course it means that four-wheel drive has to be standard, and so across all variants of the Thar you do get it as standard.
Time for us to slip into a short break. Please react to what you've seen. There is so much going around, especially on social media these days, about the Thar. I'm sure you have lots you'd like to know. Please keep the conversation going with us on our Twitter or Instagram feeds and join us after this break. Welcome back to Car and Bike. Yes, we have showed you the car that everybody's talking about, the one that many of you had so many questions about, and so by all means, go ahead and keep sending us those questions about the new Mahindra Thar. But now it's time to talk about bikes that have been getting a lot of curiosity going as well. It's the launch of the Husqvarna brand here in India. Yes, it is courtesy Bajaj, but is that just an obvious linkage that means that these are basically Bajaj bikes repackaged as something else? Well, that was exactly what we wanted to find out, and which is why Preetam and Kingshuk spent a considerable amount of time with both the models, the Svartpilen and the Vitpilen, to find out just what makes them tick and to also get you all the information you need.
Urbane, sophisticated and chic. Two new bikes from an all-new manufacturer. And these two are the textbook definition of neo-retro flavor, having an eclectic mix of old-school charm along with minimalist modern styling. Clean lines and sharp edges define the avant-garde design. Both bikes share the same platform, including the same engine, yet they have distinct flavors. And they're quite unlike any other motorcycles that you see on the roads today.
These here are the Husqvarna 250 twins. That's the Svartpilen, Swedish for black arrow, and this right here is the Vitpilen or white arrow. These motorcycles are from Husqvarna, which is an all-new brand in India, and these two models are the first from the company in India.
Well, all new for India maybe, but Husqvarna has been around since 1903 and the company is more well known for enduro motorcycles, aren't they?
That's right.
So, over the years, the 1950s, 60s, 70s, right up to the 21st century, Husqvarna has a long list of world motocross records. Unfortunately, we don't get those enduro motorcycles here in India, but what we get are these, the new 250s, the Svartpilen and the Vitpilen. But these motorcycles aren't made in Sweden, are they?
Not really. Yes, these motorcycles have been designed in Sweden, but they are made right here in India at Bajaj Auto's manufacturing facility in Pune. Of course, Bajaj owns 48% of KTM and KTM owns Husqvarna. So by that logic, these motorcycles definitely have Bajaj DNA in them. Made in India, made for the world.
Okay, enough of the family tree lessons. Let's go have a closer look at this gorgeous motorcycle, shall we?
Absolutely.
The design on these bikes is young, creative and distinct, having a lovely blend of old school minimalist overtones such as the round LED headlamp and the toned down colors. As with the engine, the steel trellis frame is also shared with the KTM 250 Duke, only the rear subframe is different to accommodate the tail section. The single pod instrument panel has a retro touch too, yet with all modern readouts. The ABS can also be turned off on the rear wheel, called the Supermoto mode. Plus, there's a side stand engine cutoff feature as well. The flat body panels have a brushed metal finish, tapering up towards the tail and finishing off in a lovely LED tail light. Both the Husky twins have the sophistication of modern machines with an edgy design. The single-piece panels on the sides and the bold lettering on the fuel tank is so simply done, yet it looks cool. One wouldn't prefer grey on motorcycles, but these two make grey look so sexy. If there's one thing that looks slightly out of place, it's the grab rail, which kind of takes away the neat lines. The Svartpilen is the chic urban scrambler with flat high handlebars, dual purpose rubber and a mount for a bag on the fuel tank. While the Vitpilen is a beautiful cafe racer with clip-on handlebars, a committed riding position, road bias tires and its lighter shade of grey looks off the chart sexy. In design terms, it is difficult to pick one winner between the two, but if we were to pick one, it would be the Vitpilen. That motorcycle is the equivalent of two-wheeled haute couture. The fit and finish on the Huskies is perhaps the best we've seen on any Bajaj manufactured bikes.
The same 250cc engine is shared on different models in the Bajaj family. You have these two, the Svartpilen and the Vitpilen. Then you have the KTM 250 Duke and also you have the KTM 250 Adventure in the coming. Apart from that, do not forget the newly launched Bajaj Dominar 250.
Okay, so you've done your homework. So same wine, different bottles then?
Well, not really, to an extent maybe, but not really, because all these motorcycles have been designed and developed keeping in mind different customer requirements and at different price points.
Okay, I know you've been up all night doing your research on these 250s, but enough of talking. Let's go ride them, shall we?
Absolutely.
The 250cc single-cylinder engine is smooth and has linear power delivery. The performance is high-strung, so the engine needs to be kept spinning at high revs for you to get some entertaining performance. The good thing is that the engine doesn't feel stressed out even when operating at the power band all the time or with speeds above 100 out on the highway. The 6-speed gearbox offers precise shifts and the slipper clutch gives a light feel on the lever along with confidence for quick downshifts. Both motorcycles get 43mm WP USDs up front and a WP monoshock at the rear. Ride quality is firm but comfortable over all kinds of surfaces. The sitting position is high and the only downside could be that shorter riders may find the 842mm seat slightly daunting.
Well, the Svartpilen 250 is quite a likable motorcycle. I absolutely love the way it looks. Riding position is very comfortable, ergonomics quite nice. Overall, if you're using it in the city, it's a comfortable motorcycle. You can ride it every day in traffic. And even on a highway, you can do triple digit speeds all day long. Now the engine, the 250cc engine is smooth and refined, so no complaints there. But if it had only a little bit more performance, that spark, that excitement, that would have made it a really special motorcycle. But overall, it's still a very likable motorcycle.
So the riding position on the Vitpilen 250 is quite sporty and committed, and yes, it does make you look really good, like you would expect from a cafe racer motorcycle. But the flip side is that if you're doing long commutes and if you want to take this motorcycle on the highway occasionally, then it could be a problem, because ultimately your back will start hurting. On the plus side, the motorcycle, the road bias tires offer really good grip, and that means it gives you more confidence to go faster, push the motorcycle harder.
The Husqvarna 250s offer good performance, they have decent features, and they definitely look better than any other quarter-litre bike in the market. There, we said it. Both motorcycles are priced at 1,85,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi. For reference, the updated KTM 250 Duke costs 2,10,000 rupees, and the most affordable quarter-litre bike is the Yamaha FZ Fi, whose prices start at 1,52,000 rupees.
So all of this brings us back to the same 250cc platform on which all these motorcycles are manufactured. Different price points, different design, and even different brands. So Preetam, let me ask you this. Among these 5 motorcycles, the 2 Huskies here, the KTM 250 Duke and the Dominar 250, which 250cc motorcycle will you choose and why?
Well, it all boils down to your personal taste, really. It's like having eggs for breakfast. Whether you like them poached, whether you like them fried, or whether you like them scrambled. Jokes apart, if I had to pick one 250cc amongst this whole family of bikes, I would pick the Svartpilen 250. Not because it's a great all-rounder or it's the best among this lot, but only because it offers a different flavor to this whole 250cc family. And of course, it's a very nice looking motorcycle also.
So I think I agree with you when you say that it all comes down to personal choice. And as far as motorcycles are concerned, yes, I think I'll pick up the Svartpilen as well. While this motorcycle, it is so really sexy. But as an overall performer, when it comes to comfort and practicality, I think this goes slightly higher. And as far as breakfast is concerned, as far as eggs are concerned, I think I like my eggs boiled.
250 adventure then.
Internationally, Husqvarna is positioned as a premium brand over KTM. But for India, on the brand's debut at least, the Husqvarna 250s are actually more affordable than the KTM 250 Duke that they're based on. In our books, they look good, ride well, and have an attractive price point as well. Qualities that give the Huskies the potential to even make them winners in the 250cc segment if the radical new design finds wider acceptability.
So there was a lot packed into this episode, but don't worry, we've got more details on the Thar for you next week. And yes, we've got the original Thar and the new generation. So we'll tell you just how different they are and how capable this car is. You can see it looks a little bit different now. It's a lot more muddy, isn't it? You'll find out why next week. Please wear your seatbelts, please wear your helmets, and always keep your masks on when you step out. Please take care and tell us how you like the show.